Hey folks, I'm JC from One Shot Adventures, and this channel is all about creating, well, great one-shot adventures and short campaigns for your RPG. Well, a little while ago, I did a video for you GMs looking for new ways to begin their adventures. I decided to turn it into a bit of a series, and so today I'm going to talk about another way to open up an adventure with a bang: the old man at the tavern, or sometimes the dying old man. Now this one surprised me a little bit. You see, way back when I started role-playing in the 1980s, ages ago, everyone made fun of this opening. The old man at the tavern was like the stereotypical opening to every single adventure, and you were mocked for using it as a GM. But now I guess times have changed, and when I've referred to the old man in the tavern in some of my other videos, people in the comments were like, what is that? So today, I'm going to tell you all about this poor dying old man in the tavern. And while it may be old, it's a classic for a reason.
Classic? Oh, I'm more than classic. I'm the old man who opened Keep on the Borderlands back in '79.
Adventures should almost always make their objectives very clear very early on, usually in the very first scene. The best objectives are clear and have real urgency to them. So let's see how this opening works. The adventure starts in a tavern or a bar or an inn, something like that. The players don't even have to know each other. They can just be locals who are gathering around, having drinks, telling stories, and laughing by the fire. No one in this particular tavern is notable except for the old man in the corner, and he's keeping to himself but listening carefully to the stories being told. As the night ends, the old man walks over to the players and he buys them a drink, and then he spins a tale. It's usually something like he knows the location of a great treasure, something that he discovered in his youth, or something he left behind years ago. It's hidden away, but he can't get to it anymore because, well, he's too old and frail and maybe has a bum leg. And now that he knows that he doesn't have much life left to live, he wants to give the young whippersnapper PCs an opportunity to win glory for themselves. Perhaps he wants that item back and will pay them handsomely for it, or he just wants it to be rediscovered by people of good heart, not the evildoers who are undoubtedly looking for the treasure as well. Many times he hands over an old hand-drawn map to the location, so it's an opportunity for you GMs to create a cool prop for your players. Either way, the old man explains the objectives of the adventure right away, why it's important, and what dangers the PCs might face. He can be almost anyone too. He could be a retired old adventurer, or maybe a king's bodyguard that was once very famous. Or he could even be the blacksmith who once forged a magic sword for a long-dead hero, and that's the sword that he once recovered. And then you can add twists to this formula. The most common, of course, is that the old man's actually a traitor. He just wants these young heroes to fetch his treasure, and then he plans to betray them in the last act of the adventure. Or, if you want to add a dramatic twist, just as the man is finishing up his story, he dies suddenly.
Oh, but once you've found the temple, you need a key to get the treasure, and the key can only be located.
An assassin's arrow flies from the window into his throat, or suddenly he realizes that his chalice has been poisoned and he dies foaming at the mouth. This adds credence to his story, and now the bad guys of the adventure are onto the PCs from the moment that the quest begins. I've used this opening many times. It's so easy to modify, and really it's as good as the story that the old man tells. If he explains how he once discovered a door in the mountain that only opened every 17 years, and in 3 days it will open again, but inside is his old party of adventuring friends that he hopes are still alive, who are there to find an ancient key to a lost faraway temple, and then suddenly there's an assassination attempt and he dies in front of the PCs. Well, this could set up an entire series of adventures. There's mystery there. Are his friends still alive? Have they maintained their sanity after 17 years in a mountain? And who killed the old man suddenly? Where is this temple with the key that he spoke of? It's just 10 minutes of narration and little art role playing, and you can use this opening to excite your players and get them immediately motivated to rush out the door and into your adventure. And that's the old man at the tavern. So if you're writing a new adventure, why don't you give this opening a try? Have you ever used this technique before? If so, and I imagine lots of you have, then let me know in the comments below what kind of twists you added or how did you make this interesting for your players. Well, in any case, I hope that's helpful. And until next time, I'm JC, and have fun with the old man at the tavern.
I also sent lots of adventurers to the Isle of Dread back in '81. And, let's not forget the Tomb of Horrors. Oh, yes, didn't give them all the information about that tomb. Temple of Elemental Evil. I was the old guy for that. I was like, there's a temple